Macbeth in the Book of Job Archetype Comparison. The archetype, the fall, is the universal description of a character descending from a high state of being to a low state of being. Both protagonists of the play Macbeth and the Book of Job were once people of high stature and reputation. Macbeth being the Thane of Glamis, a brave and courageous warrior, and Job being a wealthy and successful landowner. Through trials and tribulations, the two characters go through extensive character changes and development. Macbeth and Job are met with the powers of the supernatural, but they are both given the free will to react. While the fall of both characters derives from being faced with adversity, Job is able to rise above the grim reality, while Macbeth is not. The witches tempt Macbeth with the prophecies, and Satan asks God to punish Job, which both lead to their fall. But Macbeth makes an immoral decision, while Job remains honorable. At the beginning of the play, Macbeth is shown to be a moral and respectable man, but when the three witches claim to foresee Macbeth's future, he is eager for it to be true. All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis. All hail Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor. All hail Macbeth, that shalt be king hereafter. After the prophecy of becoming the Thane of Cawdor is fulfilled, Macbeth believes that he can indeed become the king of Scotland. He takes matters into his own hands and kills his friend and king, Duncan. This later leads to the fall of Macbeth as the people of Scotland discover the truth about the death of Duncan, and an uproar is started against him. Likewise, Job is a blameless and upright man at the beginning of the story. Satan challenges God and asks him to punish Job to prove that even Job would turn away from God if put in a hopeless situation. God agrees, and Satan kills all of Job's children, servants, and livestock, and only allows one to live to relay the message to him. Job cannot control his fate, much like Macbeth with the witches' prophecies, but while Macbeth commits a mortal sin and kills Duncan, Job is able to remain fearful of God. In all this, Job did not sin by charging God with wrongdoing. The two characters, Macbeth and Job, are tested and tempted by the powers of the supernatural, but Macbeth is overcome by evil and his own ambition, while Job is able to stay moral and upright. Macbeth is shown the three apparitions from the witches, which gives him a false sense of security, while Job continues to fear God even while he feels demoralized by his friend's advice. The witches show Macbeth three apparitions that are supposed to represent his future. Macbeth, 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 beware Macduff, beware the Thane of Fife. Dismiss me. Enough. Macbeth, 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 be bloody, bold, and resolute. Laugh to scorn the power of man, for none of women born shall harm Macbeth. Be lion-mettled, proud, and take no care who chafes, who frets, or who conspirers are. Macbeth shall never vanquished be until great Birnam wood to high Dunsinane hill shall come against him. From the apparitions comes Macbeth's false sense of security. The witches use equivocation to trick Macbeth into feeling indestructible and powerful. This leads to his subsequent fall, as he believes he has nothing to fear and gets killed by Macduff. In a like manner, Job turns to his friends after being affected by Satan and God's challenge. His friends' advice offer no comfort to him and just make him feel even worse about his circumstance. He questions God's intentions and wants to confront him, but cannot bring himself to do it. Blessed is the one whom God corrects, so do not despise the discipline of the Almighty. For he wounds, but he also binds up. He injures, but his hands also heal. From 6 calamities he will rescue you. In 7 no harm will touch you. In famine he will deliver you from death, and in battle from the stroke of the sword. His faith in God's divine protection allows him to remain a moral person, although he has lost all of his material belongings and even his children. Like Macbeth, he turns to people for help, but Job is able to endure the scorn of his friends and the challenge of Satan. In contrast, Macbeth is incapable of overcoming the temptations of evil, as he continues to make immoral decisions. Furthermore, both Macbeth and Job become paranoid and bitter because of their problems. The adversities in Macbeth's life make him suspicious and paranoid of everyone around him. He becomes suspicious of his best friend Banquo, as he thinks that Banquo suspects that he killed Duncan. He also becomes paranoid of Banquo's son Fleance, as the witches prophesize that Banquo's children will be heir to the Scottish throne. Our fears in Banquo stick deep, and in his royalty of nature reigns that which would be feared. His sinful and unmoral acts have led Macbeth to become such a dark person. This fear and paranoia also leads him to kill Macduff's entire family. This and many other factors cause the people of Scotland, especially Macduff, to fight back against Macbeth. This consequently leads to the fall and death of Macbeth. In addition, the affliction in Job's life causes him to become very sarcastic, paranoid, and bitter. Job even wishes that he were never born. May the day I was born be wiped out. May the night be wiped away when people said, "A boy is born." May that day turn into darkness. May God in heaven not care about it. May no light shine on it. The difficulties that Job was met with have changed the person that he was, but throughout it all, he still cannot bring himself to turn away from God. Similarly, Macbeth's character has changed extensively due to his problems, but his difference is that he does not overcome evil in the end. Moreover, both Macbeth and Job are faced with misfortune due to the adversities that they are met with. Macbeth is tempted by the witch's prophecies, and Job is challenged by Satan. Macbeth is given a false sense of security from 3 apparitions, and Job feels unnerved by his friend's advice. And lastly, both characters become paranoid and bitter due to their dilemmas. Both characters go through complex character development and changes as a result of their issues, but in the end, Job is able to overcome them while Macbeth is not.